around the world, around the...
Okay, it is the Colin and Lucy Breakfast Show. Here we are for a Wednesday morning. And we like to go around the world on a Wednesday to find out how the world is coping in these strange times. Now, Sharon Dehmel is a member of the Ireland-Portugal Business Network. She's a multilingual, Irish-born, MBA qualified consultant, coach, trainer and teacher that runs the interculturalcoach.com. She lives 20 kilometres outside the city centre of Lisbon in Portugal, and we are live with her now. Good morning to you, Sharon.
Good morning, Colin. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. First question, as every Irish person will ask somebody who's in Portugal, what's the weather like?
I can tell you at the moment it's a lovely 23 degrees and it's going to hit about 31 later on today.
Oh, please.
Okay, so yeah, it's pretty summery over there. Well, it always seems to be. So tell us, how is Lisbon at the moment? And because we do hear word of possibly everyone saying the second wave or extra precautions. What's happening at the moment?
Well, at the moment, the government, everybody is wearing face masks and social distancing.
Yeah.
And they, in the city centres, they've asked the pubs to close at 8 o'clock to stop large groups of people getting together.
Okay.
They've also introduced measures like we have apps for the beach. We have an app for the beach, Info Praia, so you can actually see the occupancy rate of the beach before you go there.
Brilliant.
So
and is there a queuing system for the beach? Do you queue to get onto the beach?
Well, that's the whole idea of the app, is that you don't.
Okay.
Is to keep the numbers at a level that is safe.
Right. And in respect of face masks, because it became mandatory in Ireland on Monday that you had to wear face masks or face a fine on public transport, and obviously they were encouraging people to wear face masks in shops and that, and the uptake is pretty good so far, the compliance. So what is the compliance rate in Portugal? Are people adhering to it?
You can't go into a shopping centre or a shop without a face mask, and you can't fit on public. And people here, I have to say, have, you know, since this all began, people are pretty compliant when it comes to things like that. Like if you go into a shopping centre, every single shop you have to wash your hands. So if you go into a couple of shops, it's a bit crazy, but yes, they're very diligent, I have to say.
Oh, good. Okay. In fairness, Portugal, the rates have been quite low compared to next door in Spain, which was one of the worst affected in Europe. Did your government, did you kick in really hard at the start?
I think that's what really helped Portugal, is that they saw what was happening in China and in Italy, and they were very quick to impose the restrictions from the very beginning, and also very clear, which I think helped an awful lot for people. You know, there was no uncertainty, like an indecisiveness like there has been in other countries.
Yeah.
You've been there a year now, Sharon. Would you notice a difference at this point in summer? I guess the tourists would have been flocking there. What are the streets like?
Well, I was actually in Cascais on Monday, and it was so sad, Clint, because you could see the restaurants are all open for business, but there's very few people around, and it's just heartbreaking because you know that they're hugely dependent in certain areas on tourists.
Of course.
So the Portuguese government, like in Ireland, are trying to encourage the Portuguese to staycation, to explore.
Right.
Because, Portugal, I think, won the top destination for 3 years in a row to go. But even if you go into Lisbon, it's no problem parking, it's no problem with traffic.
Yeah. Well, I suppose for Irish people as well, there is so many people flying to Faro, down around Valdeloba, down around areas like that, and there's a huge Irish connection down there. Are there people going to that area, or are there restrictions down there? Do you know anything about down that far south?
I know that obviously the UK's decision and Ireland's decisions around quarantine have had a huge impact. So it's pretty quiet. A friend of mine was there last week, and she said that there was nothing happening. It was very, very quiet. So it has had an impact.
Well, I know next Monday we may be releasing the green list of countries, where you don't have to quarantine. I think a lot of people are hoping Portugal will be on that list. Do you hear about you guys being on lists or not being on lists?
At the moment, to be honest, I haven't heard the latest, apart from the fact that we are on the lists.
Right.
But we're waiting. They're very much, Portugal is open for business, and they've made a huge effort. They've introduced a clean and safe certification for restaurants and hotels to demonstrate that they are actually safe. But that's up to the individual countries, obviously, to decide if that's enough. I know.
That's what we wait for. I was just reading today, actually, that the Costa del Sol, it is mandatory and compulsory to wear a face mask now on the beach. Wow. So even as you're sitting on the beach, you have to wear a face mask, which is going to be quite bizarre to look at.
Yeah, that's going to make for an interesting tagline.
Isn't it? Interesting postcard.
And just for you, Sharon, how are you working? Are you obviously doing the working from home, and are you still communicating with the other expats? And how has that been the last lockdown?
I have to say the Ireland Portuguese Business Network has been fantastic, and they were continuing to host webinars and opportunities for other people to meet. So that's been a huge help for both Portuguese companies and Irish companies who are looking to do business here and vice versa. So a lot of people are still working from home, or if they are going into the office, then it's restricted to certain numbers. But obviously people are very anxious and nervous, and there's no big decisions being made at the moment, but
just as a matter of interest, because we've been very lucky. I think we can say we've been very lucky with the way the government has handled it over here, and our Chief Medical Officer Tony Houlihan, the Leo Varadkar when he was Taoiseach, and Simon Harris. Has there been, and some countries have been criticised about the lack of transparency with the governments. Now, I'm not familiar with the Portuguese government at all. Was there openness? Was there transparency?
Absolutely. The Portuguese government have done a really good job. At the moment, I think the problem with the numbers is younger people wanting to get back to normal, but there is no normal, and that's a big issue. So I think they're really being very clear in saying, you have a responsibility, wear your mask, be sensible. There have been a few incidents where they've had large gatherings of people, and unfortunately I think the attitude is, guys, please comply, please do your best, be responsible, because we don't want to have to step in. So we just have to wait and see what's going to happen.
Okay. And we'll wait a lot. I know a lot of people are waiting with bated breath for next Monday to see if Portugal does appear on the green list, the big green list, and we shall see what happens there. Sharon, thanks.
31 degrees. We can get some 31 degrees.
31 degrees. There you go. Yeah.
Sunshine.
Half 9 in the bloody morning, and it's 31 degrees, and Sharon's in a t-shirt. God bless you. Listen, good talking to you. Stay safe. Take care of yourself.
Lovely.
Yeah, and we'll catch up again. Take care. All right.
Bye-bye.